Hey guys, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. It's Tuesday, May 15th, 2012. This is Jennifer. I had an incredibly successful trunk show on Saturday. It was so much fun. I was at Honeybee Quilt Store for almost the entire day, but my trunk show was from 10 to noon. A ton of people came in. If you were one of them, thank you. I had people come in from far away. Hi, Sarah from Houston, who came in to see me. It was an amazing time. I had a great experience. It was packed, and we sold all the magazines that Honeybee had purchased for the event. I sold a lot of patterns. I talked to tons of people. I had a great time. So I was planning on putting all of my projects that were in my trunk show up on my fence in my yard today, but unfortunately it's raining, and I'm not going to take all my quilts and stuff outside while it's raining. So we're going to do a mini show and tell, and I'm going to show you all of the projects that I finished over the last month. A lot of these things I had started previously where I had made a quilt top, but I hadn't quilted it and bound it. Everything that I showed, except for like maybe 2 quilt blocks, were completely quilted and bound, and that's what I'm going to show you today. The first one I've got behind me is the pattern set Fairy Tale Femmes. It's all of the fairy tale princesses. So we've got Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, Cinderella, Princess and the Pea, and Little Mermaid right here. But the layout is completely new. I drafted this to show off 5.5-inch blocks. So 5.5-inch blocks, 5-inch finished. And this pattern is called In a Castle, and it will be coming out from Sewhook probably this week. I'm just waiting for it to be tested by someone other than myself so that I make sure all the measurements are good and everything. But any 5-inch block can go in this. So it could be fussy cut fabric, it could be embroidered or cross-stitched or paper pieced or appliqued. It could be Harry Potter. It could be anything you want. It could go in this pattern. It's a very simple pattern. This was at my trunk show, and I got a lot of great compliments on it, so thank you everyone for all the compliments. So another project I finished was Peace, Love, and Pie, which I've had the quilt top done for this for ages, but I went ahead and I quilted it, and this is a very simple quilt job. You can see it better on the back where I did some meandering, and then I just did some outline quilting, and it came out really nice. I'm really happy with that. You guys saw my ready to play blocks in the quilt top last week, but I did finish it. I put another border on it, and this was quilted, and I just did Stitch in the Ditch on this one. Ready to Play and All Dolled Up were both very well received, so that was a wonderful experience to have so many people excited about seeing all of my doll clothes. So I was really happy about that. Thank you everyone that bought a copy of that pattern. I sold out of these, and I also sold out of Stargaris Dragon. This is the dragon that was inspired by drawing by my son. He's 14 now. I think he was 10 or 11 when he drew this dragon for me. So I quilted this. This whole thing is just, I don't know if you can see the quilting. I outlined the dragon, and then there's a meander in the background, and I used this opportunity to use that fabrics that I didn't know if I would be using otherwise. So this has got sort of a sky fabric on the back of this. I also got All Dolled Up quilted, so you can see this, and I quilted this quite differently from Ready to Play. Ready to Play was all Stitch in the Ditch, and this is completely free motion meander. And you can see I used a very neutral thread so that on the dresses themselves, they're quilted over, but you don't really see the stitching. You just sort of see the shape of the quilting. And I thought that would be appropriate on this one because I really wanted it to look a little more crunched up and old-fashioned. I haven't washed it yet, mainly because I was putting the binding on this about a half an hour before it was time to put these quilts up at the store, and I still need to stitch down the rest of this sleeve. This is Poppies from the Past, and this one also was a completed quilt top. I've had this pattern for sale in my shop for quite a long time, over a year I think, and it just needed to be quilted. So I did a free motion, a very small free motion meander in the background. I did free motion meander in black around the flying geese, and then I did a little bit of outline quilting, and that was pretty much that on this one. And then I used the same backing as this background and the same thing for the binding because I really wanted the actual pattern of this to really just jump out at you. This one I'm almost embarrassed to show you as having not quilted it before. This is the very first pattern that I designed to sell online. This is Wingless Worm. It's Sew Hooked quilt pattern number 1, and I finally got it quilted. I love this pattern. It's very simple. It's sort of Asian inspired, and I did you can see the little free motion scales I quilted in there. The background is all just a meander, and then I used a sparkly green binding for the back. And I showed you guys this previously, but these are my little triangles that I used to put the dowel rod in, and then I did the same thing with I think I know what that's called by now, the label down here on the bottom. So those are just squares folded in half so they don't have any raw edges after you get them all stitched on. So there's Wingless Worm. This one is the alternate to A Little Haunted. A Little Haunted is my little haunted house. And the other version, the original version, has broken windows and boarded up doors and that kind of thing going on with the windows. That one is actually hanging up at Honeybee Quilt Store. It's been there pretty much since I designed it. They've had it on the wall for a long time now. But this is an alternate version. The pattern comes with alternate pieces and instructions for creating little fussy cut doors. So these are little owls in the doors. And this one I had a lot of fun. Since it was so small, I quilted it a little bit more. So I put some funky zigzags in the roof. And you can see I sort of did just back and forth on the house. This is all just a meander. And then I did, let me show you the tree, see if you can see it from the back a little better. See the spiky bits, that's around the tree. I also got Aces High quilted, which once again, I've learned one thing about myself is once I finish a quilt top, I tend to like to move on to the next thing. So this is all quilted. I did outline quilting of all of the suits, and then there's a meander in the background, and then I did sort of a loopy swirl in both of the black and the green borders. You can see that just a little better when I hold it up like that. And the back's kind of cool because you can see that the suits are outlined. And very, very last is also one of my earlier for sale Sew Hooked patterns. The very original one of these was designed as a gift, and then I later redesigned it and made it a little bit bigger for my Sew Hook shop. And this is called In My Kitchen Window, and I actually have a stained glass that looks like this in my kitchen window. I did sort of a wood grain quilting on the edges, and then all of the inside is outline quilted. Just the whole thing is outline quilted. I don't know if you can see that on the back. And again, I was using my more interesting, not necessarily pretty fabrics for the backs, because that's a great way to use up fabrics that you might not use otherwise. You just put them on the back of a project. They serve their purpose. You have a quilt, and it doesn't have to be perfectly beautiful and pretty on the back. You can see I put little checkers on there, which don't go with the front at all. So that is it. I had a lot hanging up at Honeybee. I'm going to do a little photo slide show at the end here, courtesy of my friend Debbie, who took way more, she and Osi took way more pictures than I did. I took one picture of myself and Sarah from Houston. Actually, my friend Sue took that with my camera, but that was the only picture on my camera other than my picture of the wall hanging that I did give away at the end of the day. So that was a lot of fun. They made these big posters that had pictures of my block, and there was a giant poster. Oh wait, I have one, I'll show you. This poster was by the front door. So it's a giant poster of me with 100 blocks. So this was at the front of the store for sort of welcoming everyone in. And then there was a poster of me on the bathroom door, which is hysterical. And then there were big blow-ups of my block and my quilt. So that was a lot of fun to see. And we gave away all the posters except this one. And so I hope that if you won the poster that had a picture of me on it, that you're not throwing darts at it. You know who you are, because I know who won. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone that came out. Thank you guys for visiting. I had a great time. You guys be sure and visit the Sew Hook blog soon, sewhook.com. I have a fun giveaway coming up. I'm probably not going to post it till next week because I am taking it easy this week, but I have an awesome book that was given to me by a friend that is autographed, and I've got some other goodies that I'm going to do a little giveaway for. And the challenge, and I want you guys to start thinking about this, the challenge is I want a picture of you in an interesting place with something that is either one of my patterns, my picture of my block from Quiltmaker, or a project that you've made from one of my patterns. And I just want an interesting picture of you in a place with one of those things. It does not have to be a pattern that you've bought. It can be a free pattern from either Sew Hooked or Fandom and Stitches. But just think about that, let that brew a little bit, and I will make formal announcement, and rules and everything will be posted next week, and I'm going to do a little challenge and a giveaway, and I'm going to have a fun prize pack for you guys to fight over. So you guys have a fantastic week. I hope if you're a mom that you had a lovely Mother's Day, and if you're not, I hope you had an awesome day anyway. And I'm going to talk to you guys next week, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my couple of days off. I'll see you guys later. Bye.